Gifts are things that most people like to receive. Sometimes we get gifts that we don't particularly like. When this is the case, there's this sort of awkward situation that unfolds where we need to know what to say, how to say it, so that we don't hurt the other person's feelings. The thing is, with gift giving and gift receiving, there are certain nuances that we aren't all mindful of, and maybe we don't even know about them. Let's think for a second of a gift that we've recently received. Think of one that you've really liked, and think of one that you didn't like so much. How did both situations unfold, and how did you interact with the person who gave you the gift? Picture this. There's a child in the classroom working on some art. You see that they go to the shelf, grab certain pieces of paper, and they bring it back to the table. They're working very hard, and each paper is different. Then you see this child bring these pieces of paper that they've worked on, and they bring them to particular children in the classroom. They say to the child, "I made this for you, here you go." Some of the children are very excited to receive their art from this child, while on the other hand, some of them are a little bit confused and don't know what to do with the art. You then notice that the child who did the art and was passing them out seems a little bit upset and confused as well. Think for a second of why might this be the case? What do you think is going on through the child's mind that did the art? Why do you think the children that received the art didn't particularly want it? How would you then interact with these children? Doing something nice is not a bad thing. It makes us feel good, it makes other people feel good, but sometimes the gesture that we think is nice, others may not actually appreciate it. In the case of today's situation, this child worked very hard on their art, had an idea of who they wanted to give their art to. But as they passed it out, it seemed like their response was not the one they were hoping for. In recognizing the vulnerability within this moment, it's important to give the children the space to understand each other and understand what is happening. When we aren't given the space to understand, it's very easy for us to create a sort of story or understanding of ourselves that may not be true. And so, I said to this child, "Oh, I wonder if the other children know that you worked very hard to make this art for them." This child then went back up to the other children and said, "I chose this paper because I know you like purple. Then I drew a castle because you were playing Anna and Elsa." The other child was able to look at this paper, understand it, and then appreciate the hard work that the child put into it. This child then went to the other children that seemed a little bit confused and tried to explain it as well. The other children were very busy in their play, and they didn't really pay much attention to this child. I then said to the child, "It looks like they're kind of occupied. I wonder what kind of art they would like, or if they actually want art. Maybe you can ask them." This child then went back to the other children and said, "I'm making some art. Would you like some?" The children were able to stop and to say to this child, "It's okay, we don't want art right now." As this child was able to step back and take time to really analyze the situation, really think about the words and their own intentions and the intentions of the other children, they were able to give themselves a space so that their art and their hard work could be appreciated by the children that they wanted to give their art to. It's quite common for us to want to have a gift as a sort of surprise. We've taken the time to think of this person and we want to give them something to surprise them, something to make them feel happy. That said, when we don't take the time to really understand what might this person want and whether or not this gift we're thinking of is appropriate for them, then it kind of puts the other person in a difficult situation. And it puts us in a place where we can easily get hurt and easily be misunderstood. This is why it's important to give ourselves the space to clarify, to understand the situation, the relationship a little bit better, so that the gift or the intention that we have can be appreciated by the other person. When we help children to engage in this way, this then supports them to understand themselves, understand the other person, and understand the situations that they're going to face a little bit better. With this understanding, they can then interact with people more pro-socially, without the misunderstandings, to then watch, think, be.